All right, everybody, thank you so much for your patience. Technical difficulties, that's always a good one to say. So we are in the second week of what we call the entrepreneurial mindset. We discussed the fact that the way we think really has a big impact on our businesses. And if you can remember last week, we had an easy exercise and we just had a red dot on the screen. And we said, if you see a red dot, which is a familiar shape, a familiar color, but we had so many people respond differently to the red dot. Some said it was a stop sign, some said it was a Japanese flag, some said whatever. What we try to prove with that is that what we experience and see in life raises different what we call beliefs and attitudes. So you see something, you experience something, and it changes your belief and your attitude. It immediately goes into that space. And those two things are super important for action. And if you want to have an entrepreneurial mindset, you need to have an action mindset. And the way you're going to act is going to be determined by your beliefs and your attitude. So that's kind of where we were at last week. So what we said, I'll move this over here, a little bit of a recap. Mindset functions like a dial. So you don't just, if you want to change your mindset, you don't just change, you're not focused. If you want to change your mindset, you don't focus on your mindset. You focus on your belief and your attitude, which that mindset produces. That's the way you change mindset. I think sometimes we just say, think different, think different, think different. But if there are roots, if there's something, the foundation of that wrong thinking, which is our beliefs and our attitudes, if we don't start there, it's going to be like changing a dial that snaps back every time. You're going to find yourself thinking the old way again, thinking the old way again. But if you change your belief and your attitude, your dial, your mindset dial will automatically change. So we said mindset is determined by our attitude and our beliefs, which then, of course, we said determines our action. So we had this little slide, which is an important slide to see. We said attitude and beliefs is the way we do things. Belief is what we do. We do something because we believe it will have a certain outcome. And eventually our attitudes become our passion and our beliefs become our convictions. Now I'm telling you, I can go to war with a person that has a passion and that's convicted about something. Go and read history. Wrong by all means. But Hitler was able to use a passion and a conviction of a new nation or race, did a lot of horrible things, but many people followed him because he had a passion for what he believed and it became his conviction. So in business, these are two of the things that will make you unstoppable, honestly. If you have a strong passion for what you do, a passion for changing lives, a passion for business, and you are convicted that this is what you're supposed to do, I promise you, you're going to be unstoppable. So we're gonna go a little bit further in both of the attitude and beliefs in today's training. Thank you very much. All right. So so here's just a random question. What are the attitudes and beliefs that you believe an entrepreneur should have? So I want to start out with this question. So if you just think about this, and we're actually going to discuss this in our groups, instead of me just throwing a few, and I'll do it at the end of what I believe it should be, I'm going to throw this question back at you, and I'm going to ask you and say, if you think of entrepreneurship, you're all in business or about to go into business, and you know what's, I think, interesting in today's world is that it's not a lack of knowledge that we have. It's a lot of application. I mean, any one of us can go into Google and type in entrepreneurial mindset, and it will pop probably more articles on entrepreneurial mindset that you can ever read. It's how do we apply it and how do we make it applicable to our own scenario or own space where we're at. So part of this question is about that. I want you to think through it through your lenses and what you need in your current situation. So here's the question, what I would like for you to do. We're gonna, again, just for you, Jimmy, go into groups because it's gonna be so much fun. If you wanna take a picture like Bernard of these questions, we're going to go into our groups, and this is the 2 questions I would like you to answer. Number 1, an entrepreneurial leader should have an attitude of, then I want you to do in your groups, go and brainstorm 5, just random. Say, these are the 5 things we believe this should be the attitude of an entrepreneur. And then out of those 5, I want you to battle to pick the 2 most important ones. So brainstorm 5, but say if we are only allowed 2, this will probably be our 2 best ones. And in the same group, I would like you to go and say, an entrepreneurial leader should believe. So again, go and write down 5 beliefs and then pick the top 2. So I'm actually going to give you 10 minutes for this. So it's about 10 minutes plus an extra minute to come back into the room. So we'll give you about 10 to 11 minutes. So I'm going to make random groups. And then I would like you in those 2 groups to discuss these 2 questions. And when we go back, we're going to take this a little bit further and show you how we can develop some of these mindsets based on attitudes and belief. Is that clear to everybody? Anybody has a question? We're happy? Okay. So I am going to, where is my rooms today? Breakout rooms. We're going to have, I'm going to put about 3 to 4 people in a room. So we'll have about 7. So we have ample time for discussion. And then I'll see you back in about 10 to 11 minutes from now. Enjoy. Okay, welcome back everybody from your rooms. I heard there was some people who had to do hand signals in order to get the conversation going, but I hope it was good conversation. Never underestimate the power of experience and throwing experiences into one room. It's a powerful thing, and we can always learn from each other because our lives is just so different, you know. And we can learn from different perspectives and see things differently. So I really like the fact that we can have discussion, that we can learn from each other. So what I would like to do, I want to give a few people a chance to kind of speak to us about your top 2. So your top 2 attitudes and your top 2 beliefs. Now, if I were you, this is where I will make notes because you are about to hit gold. Where have you had 30 people on one place telling you what they believe the top 2 attitudes and the top 2 beliefs of an entrepreneurial leader should be? So anybody can go first, and you have about a minute or 2 to tell us kind of what your group were thinking about. Why did you say that? Valerie, please unmute yourself and go for it.
Sure. So trying to put it into words, meaning attitude, like our top 2 were being consistent, but I wasn't sure how to put that into an attitude.
Okay.
But, and the other one is discipline.
Discipline. So those were the 2, let's call it then in the attitude column that you guys have put those 2 things in there. So we have discipline and consistency.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. And in the belief column?
Well, we didn't quite get to that part.
How many ladies did you have in your group?
2. Me and Leora.
I'm splitting you up next time. You're not getting into the same room. Okay. Okay, good stuff. Anybody else?
Yeah, so we had Nick.
Hey, Nick.
We had the top 2 attitudes. We had positive attitude.
Positivity, yeah.
And competitiveness.
Okay. What did you guys mean by that, Nick?
Well, a leader needs to have an entrepreneur. A leader or an entrepreneur as a leader should be competitive. I think that's what we meant out of that. If that sounds
Yeah, do you
right.
guys mean like a drive, something that will take you to the next level?
Driven. Same thing.
Okay.
Driven. Yeah.
Like it.
And
All right.
then
And
top two leaderships is self-belief.
Mm,
And then believe in his vision.
I like it. I like it. Believe in his vision.
That was Bernard and Melissa's thing. I just listened.
That was good. That was good. All right. I'm going to give chance for 2 more.
Kamel, we also had positivity,
Okay.
and then we had being committed as an attitude towards what you want to achieve. So it's sort of a mindset and an attitude is to be committed.
I like it. That
And then
fits with me with the consistency that Valerie, their group also had. You know, that commitment.
it's a lot.
You're not going to have consistency if you're not committed to it. So I like that a lot.
Cool. And then the beliefs, we struggled a bit with that, but we came to like having a belief that you can satisfy a need. I believe that for an entrepreneur, it's probably really important to know that you after satisfying a need of someone.
I think that gives a legit
Guide us here.
business because, you know, all businesses need to be address a need. Otherwise, you're not in business. Even if it's just to have entertainment for somebody to sit and eat something somewhere, whatever. So, excuse me. So I agree. If you don't believe that what you do actually addresses a need, then you question the purpose of the business. And if you question the purpose of your business, you have just lost all motivation to do it. If you don't see the reason why you do something, you're going to do it for a very short-lived time and then you're done. As soon as the first obstacle comes up and you don't have a clear why or purpose, let me try something else. So yeah, that's great, Jimmy. That's very good. I'm going to give chance to one more person and then I'm going to continue. I think there was somebody that wanted to. Johnny, did you want to say something?
I think Blessing unmuted herself. I don't know if she wanted to say something.
Yeah, no, okay. So basically,
Yeah.
Everybody can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so basically a lot of the points have been mentioned in one way or the other. One, like I had confidence.
Yeah.
Now confidence can, because you won't start something if you're not confident in it. So that also is positivity.
I like
there must be, you must be goal oriented.
Yeah.
In other words, what are you aiming for? Because if you, like you said, if you don't have something to aim for, you're going to go around in circles.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of others, like sort of decision making, never give up.
Yeah.
And visualize the end goal. And on the belief side, you have to believe in what you're doing, believe in the product. You can't sell shoes if you don't wear any and you don't think they're going to work.
Yeah.
You have to have a belief in the actual product itself.
Yeah.
And it's a starting point, because people are going to hammer you down saying your product's not good enough, it's not this, it's not that. If you don't believe it, if you wouldn't buy the product, very difficult to sell it. So you have to believe in the actual product and why you're there, and belief in that you're going to succeed. The belief in the end goal that I will succeed.
That's
and
good.
That was kind of where we were. Belief is also focus.
I like it. Can all of you see how difficult it is? I said pick top 2, but yet if we write everything down, we probably have about 10, 15.
Yeah.
It's interesting, and I always find it interesting when I read books on leadership, entrepreneurial leadership mindset. If you have 5 different books, very few times, maybe 20% of those books agree, and the rest have different things that they believe is the top mindset, the best attitude to have. And what I found confusing sometimes is that it's really difficult to come up with a universal list of beliefs and attitudes that is just kind of, hey, guaranteed if you do this, you're going to have success. I'm telling you, it's not that easy. It's not check boxes. And I'll tell you why. Or let's do this. What are the different kinds of leadership that we get? If you want to type it in the chat box. What are the different kinds of leadership that we get? Okay, I see nothing. That's not one. Authoritative, yeah. Autocratic, yes. Democratic, yes. Liaise, I don't know how you spell it. It's a French word. Laissez-faire is another leadership style. Okay, so many leadership styles. If you were to say, what is the best leadership style? Type that for me in your chat box. What's the best leadership style? Decentralized, okay. That's also operations-wise. But what do you believe? Servant leadership, great. Servant leadership, I see another one. Fluid, yeah. What else? Anyone that gets someone to follow you? Interesting answer. Motivating, okay. Again, can you see how many different answers we have? If we're trying to pick the best leadership style. Let me talk about leadership first. Let me give you two scenarios. We are on a sinking ship. We have about 3 minutes to get off the ship. I'm the captain. And here's what I tell you guys. I call everybody together on the microphone and say, hey, everyone, we're about to sink. What do you think we should do? Can I have a committee? Can we please vote? What do you think is the best course of action? We have about 2.5 minutes left at the moment. Let's discuss what we think will be the best way for us to get off the boat. Versus, this is the plan, get off the boat, there's the life raft. Which one do you prefer? Of course, the second one. But if we are discussing how we need to change direction in a family setting, let me take my family. So last night, every Sunday, we have family meeting, or we just call it blessing night, where we just kind of hear what the week is about, where's our kids, and we bless them for the week and pray over them if we're Christians. So if I were to go into my family blessing night meetings with my kids and say, kids, Erica, let me tell you, this week you will. How do you think that meeting will go for me and my family? Not very good. It's a leadership style, but it was the wrong situation. So I would encourage you to go and read about what they call situational leadership. Is that really, and some of you said that, it's really the best leadership style, or the best leader has the ability to assess the situation and then exhibit the leadership style that's appropriate for that situation. That's good leadership. It's not to say that I am this and I am that, so I will only be this in every situation, because you might mess up big time if you read your situation wrong. So the best leaders can read or assess the situation, then decide on what leadership is required and exert that in that specific situation. Mindset works on the same principles. I'm of the opinion there is no fixed mindset for entrepreneurs. Now, I know that's what we call this whole thing, the entrepreneurial mindset, but I'm submitting today, depending on your situation, you will need a different mindset for different places of where your business is at, where in the growth curve. If you're in the starting point of a business, you're going to need a much different mindset than at a business that has exploded and you're trying to manage growth. You understand what I'm saying? So there's no single mindset that I believe is the correct mindset. It's the ability to know what is the right attitude and what is the right belief for my business at this situation and at this time, and the ability then to have that mindset, that's going to bring you success. So there's skill involved. So I want to share with you, this is Melton. This might not be yours, but I want to share with you 4 of my personal mindsets as it comes to business. So I know there are many areas of business that's important, but in my thinking, if I tackle strategy, HR, finances, and operations, I have pretty much covered 80% of a business. So always when I think about business, I really, those are the things I really think through, thinking that I would cover about 80% of my business. So let me show you some of my personal mindsets, and I'm only showing this to you not to make it your own, but for you to go and develop your own mindsets as it pertains to your business. Okay, so everybody can see that. Okay. So as I think of business strategy, my mindset is always a possibility mindset. And the attitude that I have in that is positivity. And here's my belief that there's always a way. So when I stumble upon a business problem, and we've said this on these Zooms, if you have not experienced a business obstacle, hold on, you will. It's coming. Any business, I don't care how easy it is, a mom and pop shop, a massive listed company, wherever, you will have obstacles. And you're going to need to navigate strategy to get over that obstacle on how to use your resources best to go forward. So I always think when I think of strategy, when I go and sit down and I need to kind of develop a strategy for where I'm at, I am positive about it because I believe there's always a way. So I have a possibility mindset when it comes to strategy. Let me just move this down here. That's going to be better. When it comes to finances, I have a justice mindset. And I'll tell you why, or let me explain to you. And so my attitude is righteousness. I'm always thinking, what is the right thing to do? If you sold something, somebody comes back with it and say it doesn't work, you can surely say, sorry, our policy is a no return policy. You're not getting your money back. Or if you know for a fact, you know what, this was a dud. What's the right thing to do? Is the right thing just to give them the money back and say, I'm so sorry, let's do it again? And my belief is that doing the right thing has long-term effects, right or wrong. If you do the right thing consistently, it will have a long-term effect and you'll reap the fruit of that. What about your taxes? Where nobody watches. What is the right thing to do? What's the righteous thing to do when nobody watches? So sometimes doing the right thing in business costs you money. And that is where many people try to take shortcuts. As long as you know, if there's something, if a decision you need to make costs you money, they try and see how can they get on top, below, or anything as long as it doesn't cost them anything. Where if your attitude is righteousness, and again, I'm saying this is personal for me. So I'm not trying to convict anybody of this. I'm not saying take these mindsets. You need to go and finalize and sit down and say, what's the different areas of business and how am I going to think about this part of the business? When it comes to human resources or people, I always think about potential. I always think, man, this person has so much more to give, to offer. What's their skills? What is their gift set? Because people who function in their full potential is happy people. People who function in their full potential is people that would want to stay with you. So, and I always do that in peace. I have had people that, you know, it just didn't work out in my business. And I had to ask them to go. Some of it I didn't enjoy to ask them to go, but I had to do it. But I've decided that I'm going to keep my peace as it comes to my people. When people go, I don't get upset. Well, most of the time. I choose peace. So my attitudes, if I'm going to leave your business, I'm not happy here, I take it with peace. When people come, I investigate with peace because my belief is that people carry purpose and that people are sent to your business, part of your HR or your team, because they carry purpose. And there's something about their purpose and about their potential that they would want to exhibit in your business. And that's why people get frustrated. When they're not appreciated for who they are, their gifts and their talent set, they leave. If you can harness and they are what you need, man, it's going to be a great relationship. They're going to be happy. You're going to be happy. It's going to be like a good dance. And then in terms of operations, I always think of a growth mindset. I always think there is a better way, there is a shorter way, there is a most optimal way. So whatever word you want to put in there, but that's kind of my thinking when I think about operations. And then I always try to stay teachable. The fact that I've done something for 5 years doesn't mean I still need to do it like that for the next 5 years. So to have an attitude of teachability, and you know what? Even the rookie coming into your business, maybe if you listen well enough, they might have something to say that you can learn from, and it can change your operational processes, and you can actually benefit from that. So I wanted to share that with you. Is this in a book? No. This was stuff I developed for myself. What I would like you to do is choose a couple of areas of your business that you can actually develop for yourself as well, that you know that's going to help and guide you. Let me give 3 minutes. I want to end with one more slide. I'm going to give 3 minutes, maybe some questions or comments. You can just unmute yourself. Let's have a quick discussion about this, and then we'll go to the final slide. Oh, wow. Not everybody at the same time, please. Okay. Going once. Going twice. Jimmy?
Mel, I think it's of value to, what you mentioned about being able to, decide which attitude to have at what time. The ability, the skill that you develop to take a certain type of leadership in certain circumstances. I think that's really valuable. I just want to emphasize that. I think that's something that I'll definitely take forward out of this. And obviously, these 4 pointers you've given us right now, that's really something to chew on a little bit, and to let it simmer a bit and sink in. And I think that's very good pointers there. Thank you very much.
Good. Thank you for the feedback. Anybody else with a comment or want to say something?
Yes, Bitumelo here.
Hey, Bitumelo.
Mel, I've been, I could say, struggling with, I think since I did the first training that you did, it really helped kind of see my own mistakes in terms of changing my mindset and shifting it into an entrepreneurial mindset. It's been very difficult. I just want to ask you, how do you be consistent in shifting this mindset to be able to stay consistent with it, and be able to also, because now we're in such a network marketing space where you're going to come across people who were at the same point as you were, where their mind were employee, and you found it, I could say I found it a bit challenging. I wouldn't call it difficult, to shifting it into a entrepreneurial mindset. How do you then again assist someone to also see that shift? It's important so that they can have growth in their business.
That is a great question. So I think if you guys don't mind, instead of opening up, I'll give you my answer and then we'll continue. I think in the first place, Bitumelo, give yourself the space to not be consistent. And that's okay. The fact is, we never have 100% hit rate on our mindset. Things happen. You're tired. You've had the same negativity or disappointment 40 times, and you find yourself at a place where you're like, you just don't have that mindset that you're supposed to have. So number one, I'll start there and say, you don't measure just the 100% rate. You measure your progress. So by having an awareness of what I need to, so by having an awareness of your attitude and your belief system, you actually, in a certain sense, able to self-navigate. So now that you're aware of, okay, I need to be positive, or you've decided on the mindset that you need, if you do it 2 times out of 10, and by next week, 3 times out of 10, and within the next 3 months, 4 times out of 10, and then 5 times out of 10, I think you need to celebrate that, because what we'll celebrate, we duplicate, But if we only say, oh man, I've done it 8 out of 10 times, you still missed it twice, you're so negative, that doesn't serve you very well. So that will be my two major, if that answers your question a little bit. Number one, create an awareness of what it should be, 10 things like this, go and write it down. Just the fact that you know about it, I promise you, your mind will already start evaluating your own actions. When you do something wrong, how many of you have, you've said something, and then when it comes out, you immediately know, oops, I just messed up. Nobody needs to tell you. Nobody needs to coach you through it. You just know, wrong thing. And now that you have awareness of what some of these mindsets should be, you'll see how your thinking will be, wait, I can think differently. Wait, my attitude should be this. Wait, this belief will serve me better. And then, of course, give yourself the grace. Don't measure your performance, but measure your growth, if that helps. All right. Okay. So what I would like to do, let me just go to this last one. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, what is next? I would encourage you to go to the Mel mini workshops. Go and download this week's action template. Now, it's not on there. I'm going to wait for the recording to post, and then I'll do the recording plus the action template. So in the next hour or so, for those guys in South Africa, go and sleep. You'll have it tomorrow morning. For the guys in America or in the US, you'll have it in the next hour or so. Excuse me. So go and do that. And then this week's application PDF is specifically to change your mindset to inspire action. So you tackle two issues of your business, and through a few questions, we actually want you to develop your own mindset as you see it fit for this moment. What's the mindset that will serve you the best for those issues in your business that you have recognized? And then there's one area, sometimes we need to wait on things. Sometimes it's not coming in, stepping in and trying to change it all at the same time. Take some things that you say, these things I'm going to take action steps upon, but these one or two things I'm just going to wait and tackle it a little bit later. So there's some questions on that too. Next week, we're going to look at what are the obstacles, what keeps us from thinking in good mindsets, and how do we identify and overcome these mindsets. So that's kind of for next week. What I'm going to do after next week, I'm going to give 4 days, and the first 6 people that have done all the PDFs and I've seen they've actually done the work, I'm going to set up a private Zoom just for the 6 plus me. So it's going to be 7 people. And we're just going to talk about the mindset, what you've put on your action steps. I'm going to just help you think through a few things of your business. So it'll just be 7 of us on a Zoom, probably for about an hour. But the way you can qualify for that, or the way to show me that you're serious with changing your mindset, is if you've done all 3 of those PDFs. I'm going to ask you after next week to submit those. And then we're going to set up a time with the first 6 people. And we're going to talk through your business, the different areas of your business, what's your current thinking, what it should be, how can we change your thinking into that, what are some of the attitudes that's going to serve you better, what's going to be some of the belief systems that will serve you better. And I promise you it's going to be valuable to you, and that's going to be free of charge. If I had to charge for it, it will be a couple of $100, which I'm not going to do. So I'm just going to give you a heads up so that you don't have 3 PDFs to complete by next week. So if you kind of work with us over the next few weeks, we're going to have that private coaching session, just the 7 of us, and just talking through your business and more than just your business, talking about you as the entrepreneurial leader. How are you developing your thinking, your mindset as it comes to success for your business? Okay, so I am super excited about that. We are at 9 o'clock for the South African guys, and at 1 o'clock in the afternoon for the US. So thank you very much for your time. I honestly appreciate it. I know you could have done a ton of other things than sit behind a Zoom. So I hope this was valuable. I hope you walk out of here with a little bit of thinking that you can, okay, wait, let me think about this. We are honestly serious about your success. We want you to succeed And that's why we have put all of this together. So, okay, please type the link here on the chat. Okay, I will do the link again, but thank you very much. You guys have an absolute great day, and I'll see you next week on Monday. Remember, this is open sessions. You can invite anybody in your teams, your business, middle managers, whoever you want to invite to. You are more than welcome to invite them to these sessions. So let me just do the link. There we go. Okay, perfect. It's not workshops. I'm sorry, it's workshops. So I'll fix it and then I'll stop the recording.